welcome to our second part in the 4-week series. We're doing a special Ask Amanda live here on Facebook to support you during the pandemic, to answer any questions or concerns that you have about how to maintain good mental health during the quarantine. And so please feel free, as I'm chatting here, to drop a comment in. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I'll be sure to get to them. So before we really get started, let me just give you a little bit more information about the series. Again, 4-week series. Last week was our first week, so this is week number 2. And so we're really just trying to help support our community, everyone, as we're going through the quarantine, dealing with COVID-19, the whole stay-at-home order thing. We want to make sure that we're supporting everybody and encouraging everyone to take good care of themselves, not just physically, but also mentally as well. And I realize that the quarantine is really difficult on a lot of people. A lot of anxieties coming up, a lot of social isolation, and intricate new novel issues that we're all dealing with just because of the nature of everything. So we put together this Ask Amanda live Facebook series to try to best support people. So if you have questions, ask a therapist sort of thing, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're listening. And let me know if you have any questions, or if you've heard some of your friends or family or colleagues having some common concerns, or you've been seeing stuff on social media perhaps. So I'm happy to answer any questions, even if they're not necessarily yours specifically, but you know that other people have those questions. So feel free to drop those in the link there below. So I would also encourage you to check out our website, discovercounselingcollective.com. We've got lots of blogs there on a variety of topics. We've been writing blogs for, I think, over 2 years now. And so we have a search feature there. We have lots of categories. You can type in some words and kind of see what blog posts pop up. So I'd encourage you to check out our website, check out the blogs on our website specifically for some more information in overall mental health and other mental health issues. Also, make sure that you're following us, liking us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. We try to keep those up to date with really helpful, informative tidbits as well. So before we get to the concerns for today, for Ask Amanda, I wanted to just do a kind of quick shout out. So today is May the 5th, so Cinco de Mayo, but tomorrow is National Nurses Day. And so dealing with this quarantine, dealing with the pandemic, the healthcare professionals are the ones on the front lines, of course, right? In the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses dealing with the patients that are coming in with this stuff. So wanted to just do a shout out there for Nurses Day tomorrow. I think it then starts Nurses Week. So just really appreciative of all of our healthcare professionals, the work that you guys do, not just today and tomorrow, this week, during the pandemic, of course, but always. So just wanted to give that shout out to everybody. All right, so our topic for today. We are going to talk today about uncertainty and kind of what do we do with uncertain times like the ones that we're currently living in. As humans, we love knowing. We love being certain of things. We love knowing what to expect. We love routines. We love structure. Our brains are hardwired to create these shortcuts for us that help us to understand our world. We're bombarded with information, stimuli to our senses always. And so our brains have developed these abilities to kind of filter out important information, important stimuli, and then obviously kind of make judgment calls as far as what's not important perhaps. And so this is where the idea of stereotypes come from, just stereotypes in general. It's kind of shortcuts for our brains, if you will, based upon our previous experiences. So we as humans love certainty. We love knowing what to expect. We love structure. And so when you're dealing with uncertain times like the ones that we're currently living in, and what I mean by uncertainty is, when will the quarantine be over? When will I be going back to my office to work? Will the kids start school or not? Will someone that I care about get sick? Will I get sick? How's this impacting the economy? Like lots and lots and lots of questions, right? And so dealing with these uncertain times can be really, really hard for a lot of people. And so there's nothing wrong with wanting to know and wanting to be certain, but there are certainly going to be times like this that we just can't know. And there's just uncertainty whether we want there to be or not. And so what I'd like to talk to you about today is, what do you do with that uncertainty, and kind of how can you manage your feelings, the anxiety, probably the worries that that's causing, in the best manner. Okay? So the best way to handle uncertainty is to think about what is in my control and what is not in my control. And so if you are able to make a list maybe of all of the things that you're worried about or all of the things that are bothering you right now, and like filter it through, is this something I can control? Can I do something about this or not? If you're able to kind of tease those things apart, that's the first step. And then the second step, if you're able to take a look at the things that you are able to influence, can do something about, you can control, then I would encourage you to take action steps on those things. Create a game plan. This is what I need to do today. This is what I got to take care of this week. I got to make these phone calls, whatever the case may be. So the things you can control, do something about, or have a plan to do something about. Maybe break them down into smaller, more manageable bits. The flip side of that then is the things that you can't control, the things that you can't do anything about, the things that are outside of your control and or your influence. Those are the things that I would encourage you to work really hard at letting go of. And I realize that's difficult. What I mean by that is, let's say that you're planning, of course, maybe not right now, but let's say you were planning this big outdoor party, right? And so as the day's approaching, you're checking the weather report. You're really worried. You're really You're really worried that it's going to rain. It's going to ruin my party. What am I going to do then? So asking yourself, using this framework here, can I control if it's going to rain? The answer is no. And as best as you stalk the weather channel, like it may surprise you and there's rain when it didn't call for it or whatever. Meteorologists even have a really hard time predicting exact weather patterns, right? So weather's completely out of our control. But realizing I can't control if it's going to rain or not, and letting go of that possibility, that uncertainty, is going to be better for your mental health. And so in this example that we're working through here, creating some sort of plan B for if it does rain, because I can't control if it's going to rain, but if it does rain, here's my plan B. I'm going to have this outdoor tent set up, or I'm going to have a rain date or a rain location, or if you're just, kind of out and about going for a walk or whatever, I'm going to carry an umbrella. And then that way it doesn't matter if it rains or not, I'm prepared either way. And so if you're able to take the things that you're worried about, take all of this uncertainty that we're all dealing with, and filter it through what's in my control versus what's not, letting go of the things that are outside of your control, and then coming up with strategies or action plans, really specific goals for the things that you can do something about. That is going to help you to handle the uncertainty that we're all dealing with. So I hope that's helpful. Dealing with uncertainty, that's kind of what we've covered thus far. Again, if you're joining us, please drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or anything that you want to learn about regarding mental health. So thanks for those of you who have commented and are here already. The other thing that we're going to talk about today is dealing with media use. Okay. And so what I mean by that is we're all trying to stay up to date with the COVID pandemic. We're all trying to stay up to date with our county and our state and the federal guidelines and our state guidelines and when is our state opening and all of that stuff, right? So what I would encourage you to do is try to balance how up to date you're staying on COVID with having boundaries for what information you need and when. And so what I would suggest is maybe what I would suggest, if you're already subscribed to some of those email daily news update things, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, whatever, maybe you unsubscribe from them for right now. Maybe having that in your inbox every day, bombarding you with, maybe negative headlines or information. The first thing you do when you wake up is you look at your email and you're bombarded with all this information. Maybe that's not the best thing for you and for your mental well-being. So perhaps you consider unsubscribing from those daily news outlet source things. The other option is, and then you can always resubscribe whenever you want to, right? So it's not like I'm saying don't ever touch the news again. But you're giving some balance and some boundary to yourself to when am I receiving this information and what information am I receiving. So consider unenrolling or unsubscribing from some of those things if you're finding that that's really setting a negative tone for the rest of your day or it's causing you a lot of anxiety even before you get out of bed. That would be one strategy to try. What I would also suggest is figuring out which news outlets do I trust, where do I want to get my news from, and then focus only on getting information from those news sources. And so this may mean having some sort of limit with how much you're on social media or who you're following or listening to or watching their stories or whatever on social media. Maybe it means that you identify these news sources and you specifically go to their sites once per day or once in the morning to prepare for the day and then maybe once at the end of the day. But what I'm basically encouraging you to do here is to take control. Speaking of our uncertainty that we were just chatting about, what I would encourage you to do is take control, though, of the information that you're receiving and when, and then what you do with it. And then that can also help with eliminating some of the sadness or grief or anxiety that getting some of that updated news might cause. So again, trusted news source. Figure out when do I want to get my news, and then you go to that news source for that information. And what I would suggest is that you have it be at a time of the day that is maybe a slower time for you. So that if you do see something negative or you do see something alarming or that causes you a lot of grief or sorrow, you have a little bit of time to deal with it. So it's not that you're having the news on as you're getting ready, and then you have to pop into a Zoom work meeting at 9 o'clock, and you just heard all of this stuff on the the TV, the news outlets. So that's really shocking to us, to our systems, and then you don't have any time to do anything with it. You don't have any time to process what did I just think of that? How's that going to impact me? All of that sort of stuff. And so again, that's maybe going to cause a lot more sadness or a lot more anxiety. So you control what information you get from what news sources, and then of course make sure that you have time to kind of process or debrief for yourself. And so what I would also suggest is that you not listen to let me stop a sec. What I would suggest, if you're finding that this constant media attention with COVID, if that's causing you sadness or worry or sorrow or grief, what I would encourage you to do then is not do that maybe right before bed either. A lot of people are having a lot of sleep issues lately just because all of our schedules, all of our routines are all thrown off. And so I do talk about sleep strategies in our previous Facebook Live from last week, so you could check that out. On our website, we also have several blogs on sleep, good sleep hygiene, good sleep habits. So feel free to look at those, discovercounselingcollective.com. But what I was saying is, if you're finding this media is having a negative impact on you, especially in the evening time, what I would encourage you to do then is to not watch, the 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock news or whatever time it is, and just have your check-in with the news be earlier in the day. So that, again, you have plenty of debrief time so that it's not going to stay on your mind. It's not going to be in the forefront of your mind. It's not going to prevent you then from sleeping, so that you've got plenty of time to be able to process the information, process the news that you get. So those are 2 quick tips there for you. So the first part of today, we talked about how to deal with uncertainty. We just kind of wrapped up talking about how to deal with media use and any sadness or grief or anxiety or worry that's coming based upon the information that you're getting through the media. And let me reiterate, I'm not saying like stick your head in the sand and ignore everything and don't access any media outlets. What I would say is find the trusted sources like the CDC, for example, or maybe our state website, so you can see state specific what's going on here sort of things. Find the trusted news sources and then access that information on your time schedule, not on their time schedule. So those are the 2 things that we were going to address for today. And I appreciate everybody who is tuning in for Ask Amanda. We have 2 more installments in this series, so stay tuned for the next 2 weeks. We're going to dive a little bit more, I think, into anxiety and how to deal with anxiety, because, again, a lot of people are experiencing lots of worries and they don't know what to do with that. So stay tuned for that for next week. And of course, as always, drop a comment. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns that we can answer either today and or in future Ask Amandas. Please be sure to check out our website, discovercounselingcollective.com. Also, follow us on all the social media platforms so you can stay up to date, and we can help you out kind of throughout the day, throughout the week with good mental health and good coping strategy things. And happy Nurses Day tomorrow. So thanks so much for joining us all, and you all take care. Bye-bye.